Hey there, editors. So here we are right at the beginning of the course, and you might be wondering, is editing the right work for you? You might also be wondering whether you should actually buy this course if you haven't already. So what I've found is one of the main stumbling blocks or fears that people have about editing is this enormous pressure to get everything right, to make a text completely error-free. So if we can start out just by saying that no editor can be expected to get a text completely error-free. So in the real world, what happens is that the text will be edited by a copy editor, and when they finish, it goes to somebody else who does the proofreading. And even then, after 2 rounds of those edits, there'll still be some errors that creep through. So I want you to begin by letting go of this idea that you as the editor have to make something completely error-free. Okay. What you are more is a text improver. You're also a creative partner who helps an author communicate more effectively, to create more beautiful sentences, if you like, to express themselves. So there's a creative part of it as well, and that's not just about error checking. Okay, so with that out the way, what are some of the characteristics that make a good editor, and which perhaps you already have in abundance? Let's take a look. I've got about 6 of them. I'll run through them. I'm sure you'll recognize much of what you have already in these characteristics. So first up is a natural feel for written expression and language. Now, probably because you're looking at this course, what brought you here is that you're good with language. You love reading, you love writing, you're quite good with writing. If this is you, this will make you a great editor. So as I said, part of your editing job is about correcting errors at the technical, sort of grammatical level, but in other ways it's helping authors express themselves. And you can also do a lot of correcting just by your intuitive sense of language without knowing any of the grammar rules. Okay, so if you know how to construct good sentences, you know naturally what works, you know what flows, you have a sense of the beauty of language, or how to be more precise with language, this will set you up for being a great editor. Number 2, a willingness to get to grips with grammar and technical issues. Now, at the beginning of this course, I said you don't need to be a grammar guru to be a great editor, and this course does not require you to be a grammar boffin. What it does require you to do is just to be willing to learn some of the basics. And in this course, I will run through all the basics, everything you need to know to edit at a technical level. So just be willing, just open yourself to the learning of it, have fun with it, and if you're already great at grammar, well, you're already a few steps ahead of the rest of us. Okay, so this will make you a great editor. Number 3 is the ability to sense logical faults. Now, what do I mean by that? So one level of editing is just your grammar issues and spelling. Another is the content. So if you're someone who naturally looks at the content of a piece, as you're reading a document or an article, you think, hey, this doesn't make sense. The author could have explained this better. This is not logical. This paragraph should maybe be put above the other paragraph. If you have this natural ability, or if you can develop it, this will make you a great editor, because part of your job is to help the authors express and get their points across, and authors often make factual errors themselves. They're not always in control of their facts or their expression. Okay, so if you spot something that sounds off, you jump onto Google, you research it, come back, either correct it yourself or put a comment to the author, ask them just to double check this fact. If you can do that, you'll be a great editor. Number 4 is an eye for detail. Now, this is the one that all advertised jobs for editors will say you must have an eye for detail. That can be a bit intimidating because not all of us have a great eye for detail. I, for one, didn't think I had an eye for detail. I probably don't have a great eye, but what I discovered is that you can learn it. So you might be naturally one who spots errors in advertising copy or in books. Great, you're already ahead of us. If you're not, you can learn. And on this course, I will guide you through some of those places where the errors occur. I know that I can look at a page now and my eyes sort of immediately go to the trouble areas. I immediately check headline fonts and capitalization and full stops, and my eyes just sort of run through those. So I know through experience where these errors lie. Okay, so we will cover some of that, and this is something you can improve if you're not that great on. Point number 5, an ability to structure information. So this is a bit more of an abstract level of editing. This is where you can help authors give input on big picture issues like story structure, the chapter structure, Does the story work at an abstract level? So here you're not looking so much at the grammar and the spelling issues, but you're looking at, does the story work? Perhaps this chapter needs to be moved around or cut, or perhaps this whole section doesn't make sense. If you can spot that type of error, you will be a great editor. Now, just to note, as this is quite an abstract or substantive level of editing, we're not covering it in this course, because here we're focusing on quite on the mechanical level of edits, but this course will provide you with the groundwork to move into that level of editing if that's your scene. Okay, point number 6, the last one, is reliability and a healthy respect for deadlines. So here's the thing. Authors and writers are notorious for taking as long as it takes to finish their work. And that means that the editing time gets crunched up right at the end. So you often have a limited time on which to edit something. That means you need to be quite organized about how you work. You need to be quite organized by staying on your deadlines or working with the publisher to rearrange deadlines. So just here is where you just show up. You just become the reliable partner for publishers. If you do this, I guarantee they will send you more work. Because as an editor, especially working for publishers, you're going to be quite a problem solver. So if you make yourself really valuable to a publisher because you're always showing up, you're always there, you're always solving problems, they will use you more and more. Okay, and also things like private clients, like a academic thesis. If your thesis is due on next Tuesday, today's Monday, you know you've got to work quite hard in this week to get it done. You can't drop that student. Okay, so friends, these are the 6 items I've listed. There are probably a lot more. You probably have some that I have not mentioned. Basically, look inside yourself, find what you're good at, what you can become more good at, qualify yourself to do this course, because if you love language, if you have a basic ability of it, you can learn everything else. And that's what this course will show you. So let's enjoy the course. If you haven't already signed up, please do so. I look forward to meeting you in the course. See you there.